Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Everything Happens for a Reason podcast. So, I have a guest with me today, Mia, who is a matchmaking and dating coach. Am I right in saying?
Correct. Yes. Right.
We have her on board today to talk a little bit about love, relationships, essentially finding yourself, and that side of things. And I suppose just start us off by give us a little bit of detail about yourself, how you got into this career path.
Wonderful. Thank you for having me. I'm very happy to be here because, with my job, I always talk about love and relationships every day, the whole day. So it's really my passion, right? Imagine if a girl is talking about love and relationship all the time, like, what else to ask for? So I've been in Dubai for over 9 years. So that kind of gives me the benefit of knowing the market, the dating market, because whatever I am teaching and guiding my clients about, I've been through the same, right? So I walk the walk and I've been in their shoes. And the idea came to my mind approximately 4 years ago to establish my company for matchmaking and coaching. And I remember that night that I was like, I can't sleep. I'm so excited about this idea. Like, if I don't try to make this happen, I know that definitely in the future I would regret. So I started definitely from myself, like any other coach, right?
Yeah.
When I teach someone or support someone on something, you should be going through the same or should have in order to deliver the right approach to your clients.
Absolutely. And I think a lot of people make that mistake where they see a dream. They're like, I want to do what she is doing. But if you don't have the experience, you don't have the lessons, you've never made those mistakes essentially as well to actually learn from them. But with regards to your clientele, is it mainly Dubai based then?
Yes.
Yeah.
90% of my clients are UAE based. When it comes to matchmaking, I do have few clients that are based outside, coaching as well, because everything can be these days done online, and I coach my clients solely online, even though if we want to go outside and we want to have like practical session in the field,
Yeah.
that as well. So I really enjoy that. But yes, majority are based in here.
Okay. And one thing that I want to know more detail about because I find it really interesting is how does the whole matchmaking process work?
Right. It's a little different for women, it's a little bit different for men. So matchmaking database is open and free for the ladies, so they can join anyone who would like to become a part of the database. When it comes to men, I focus on those clientele because I am proactively looking for female partners for the male clients. They also have the opportunity to choose from few options as memberships. And I meet all my male clients in person because I want them to develop that certain level of trust with me.
Yes.
I want them to feel safe, to open up, to share, because I know that for some men it doesn't have to be as easy. As women, we're easier to talk
We can talk.
about. And then at the same time, it gives me the benefit to tell my female clients I met with him. He's a real deal, he's verified, he's vouched for, he is here with intention.
Yes.
It gives the safety to each side. I look into values, lifestyle, preferences for future, preferences for partners. So they always have to be aligned. I do have my platform that supports my decision in matchmaking. However, because I talk with my clients, if not in person, then at least via Zoom. And it gives me the benefit of using my sixth sense to make the match, to be like, you know what, even though my platform is showing me this percentile, I think it could be a better match because
Yeah.
you feel the energy, you feel the vibe, and you're more confident than to send them on a date. So then I exchange their profiles. And if they both agree, yes, I would like to meet with this person, then we set up the date and yeah, they meet and then take it from there.
I love that. I love that. And if they do end up dating, say, longer term, are you still sort of involved in building that relationship, or do they just sort of go off on their own then?
In the beginning, I'm more involved than in at the later stage, right? Because especially after the first date, I need to hear the feedback. I need to hear it went well because, or it didn't go so well because. Sometimes, most of the time, what happens is they tell me, I've had a great time. I had a great conversation. That person is very lovely, but I didn't feel the attraction, which is,
Yeah,
because that's my job to match two people together that are matched on a paper. I can't foresee if they have the chemistry, communication flow. I wish I can.
of course. It would make things a lot easier.
Definitely. But it's on them to find out. So then I need that honest feedback. Like, if something was missing, tell me so I can do a better job for the next match.
Yeah, absolutely. And with starting this career path and going down this coaching route, you already know what I'm going to ask.
This is not like funny story, but like in a way, when I'm looking back, like it's amazing how my life worked out, because I was always employed in a corporate, and in the beginning, I always got so excited, about the job, about the position, about the task, and I saw myself growing within the company. But every single time, I felt like I'm hitting a rock bottom. Like my spark is being dimmed, and I don't feel like I'm striving. I don't feel like I'm happy. And then one day, when after the inner work I've done, and I realized, okay, the work I'm doing on myself is working. The work or the advices I'm giving to my friends, okay, they are paying off. Why not to do this as a business? Why not to help others to go easily and smoothly through the tough times sometimes? I would love to support them, and this is an amazing idea. So all of a sudden, from corporate, I've decided to pursue the path of being the guide, the cheerleader, the confidant to people that are looking to improve their love life, but also overall life. Because have you heard about the study that is being done by Harvard? If I'm not mistaken, it started in 1938. It's the longest ongoing study till today's date. And the question was, what is the key to a happy life? So, is it wealth? Is it fame? Is it money? Is it success at work? No,
Yeah,
the quality of your relationships. So, if I can show my clients how to maintain healthy relationships, but not just the romantic ones, because
yeah,
the teachings in relationships, you can apply it with your friends, family, co-workers, strangers, right? So you can elevate your life on every possible aspect.
absolutely. And do you feel by improve or how you improve your relationship with others actually comes from you? Like you have to first improve the relationship you have with yourself, with your mind, your body, and then look outside.
Yeah, that's a good question, because as much as I also teach them how to have healthy relationships with others, every single client first goes through learning curve on how to have that healthy relationship with themselves. Yeah. Because that's also what I had to go through. And of course, if I don't take care of myself, no one else really will. I can't really rely on anyone else. So my mental well-being is very, very important for me these years, because if I am not feeling well, how I can also support my clients, right?
Of course. Absolutely, you have to put yourself first, and it's same for yourself. It's the relationship you have with your clients. You have to show up as the most authentic, most confident, and the best version of yourself, essentially, for yourself and for your clientele as well. But do you think in the past, before you sort of got into this, did you struggle with finding a partner that was in the same alignment as you?
Oh my, big time. Like, just name it, situationships done that, narcissist done that, ghosted done that, catfish done
Stop.
like everything. I think that's why I had to go through everything so I can properly
You have all the experience now.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah. So I've been there. I've done that. Don't you worry. We'll work on that. Yeah. So I think it was inevitable part of my journey, my life, so I can get here where I am today. And I'm grateful for every single experience, even though, regardless how painful it was back then, I didn't see back then why it's happening, right? I was one of those that didn't know what's the shadow work, inner child, um, like cutting the ties,
Yes.
NLP, and it all came together. And once you understand that outside in the world there is so many tools, how you can help yourself, and the moment you help yourself, you can also help others.
Of course.
Like rewarding.
Everything changes for you at that point, you know? And yeah, the reason for this podcast, Everything Happens for a Reason, is because of that. So I'm the biggest believer of everything that happens to us, there's a reason. And at the time, like you said, the pain, the hurt, you probably felt like it was the worst thing in the world. But now looking back, you wouldn't be the person you are today. So that is the whole sort of reasoning behind this podcast. And that's why I asked you if you sort of went through that yourself to get to where you want to be. But do you feel, well, what's your opinion on dating in Dubai?
It is what you make out of it.
Yeah.
People, they can say it's challenging. People, they can say it's awful. People, they can say it's exciting, it's beautiful. It's anything what you make out of it. Um, it's like a green cap theory, right? Sorry, it's like red car theory. Tell me how many red cars you're gonna see today. How many you saw yesterday. Yesterday you have no idea, maybe none, because you were not focusing on those. But today you will see them on every corner, and that also comes with dating. If you focus on there are only people that fool around, that they don't want to settle down, that are playing around, are not being serious, or just are about money, yeah, that's what's gonna come your way, because that's what you're putting your focus on, right?
That is so interesting you say that.
And dating should be joy, it should be fun, it should be exciting, it should be like you're enjoying it. So if you don't find yourself in this position, why are you even dating?
Yeah. When you're dating for the wrong reasons, you're gonna get the wrong answers, you know? You're gonna attract the wrong people and then question yourself again. Why am I in the same situation again of narcissists, of people playing you and that sort of thing? But it is what you put out, isn't it? It's if you're allowing that to happen, that's what you're gonna get.
Definitely. Did you find yourself in a position where you were dating with kind of a when you were burnout or negative mindset, or you always had the ability to put yourself out there on the dating market with just a positive mindset?
You're gonna laugh at my answer with this. So I, at the minute, against dating. Okay.
Why is that?
Not against it in the sense that like I wouldn't date, but I am very picky with who I invest my time in. But a lot of that comes from my past relationship that I was in for 3-4 years, and it was toxic. The energy was off. So coming out of that, at the minute, I'm in a position where I'm so content being on my own, and I needed to take that time to be on my own. Am I ready to date? Yes, 100%, but I'm not actively looking for it. If something comes up, something comes up. So I don't know how to answer that because I have been out of the game for a long time.
Yeah, right. But I like that you can self-reflect, that you are self-aware of where you're currently standing and what you want or you don't want. And you're clear about it. You're not like, I'm not sure, I don't know, I've been hurt, I've been burned, and I'm just like, somewhere lingering in between.
Yeah.
That's the worst that people they can do. So I'm very happy for you that you have that, that it's clear for you.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, it wasn't like that at the beginning because I was hurt, I was upset, and you act out of your emotions essentially. And at the time, I was like, should I jump into another relationship or should I just have fun, live my best single life? And it took me a couple of months to sort of be like, no, I know what I want for myself. And I think like last year, I really took that time to focus on my business, focus on myself. I moved countries, which is not something I would have done as like if I was still in that situation. And I had to take that time. And like you said, now I'm in a position, I'm like, if something comes up, yes. At the minute, am I actively looking for it? No, because I am so comfortable with where I'm at, which I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, because sometimes I'm too comfortable.
Are you attracting often men to approach you?
Yeah, I am. But I feel like once it gets to a stage where it's like it's getting more serious or we're talking more, I pull back.
You know, you're now in this energy where you're just like, I'm happy, I'm content. If it comes, it's perfect. If it doesn't, I don't mind. And this is the most attractive energy in dating, because you're not being, like helpless, hopeless, and dramatic about it.
Yes,
Like, just like holding on to it too much.
almost desperate.
Desperate, that's the word I was looking for. Thank you.
Yeah.
So, this is why men are coming to you, not just because you look beautiful, but it seems that they also want to pursue you in a long
Yeah.
term, which means that they also see the beauty that you have inside of you. But then you're pulling away. Do you know your attachment style?
Avoidant. 100% avoidant. But for me, I know it's changed. I've always been avoidant. When I was in that last relationship, I ended up anxious, but in the relationship. But when I came out of it, instantly avoidant. And I'm very aware of that. I know that like in my mind, I've always been like that. If I leave before I get hurt, I'm not going to get hurt, which is something I have to work on. And I still have a lot of healing to do in terms of that.
We all do.
Yeah.
If someone asks me a question, is it possible to heal 100%? I believe yes, but not everyone is even meant to do it. So if you look at monks, Buddhists, they are different level, like almost like in seventh plane, right? But for us, like regular human beings, we're pretty much dealing with whatever we are carrying. I don't know, if you start working on yourself when you're 30, you're trying to resolve everything that happened to you in your 30 years. That's like 30.
That's a long time.
Shifted, in a snap of a finger. So that takes really time. So healing, I think it's a ongoing, never ending, but beautiful journey.
Absolutely. And I agree with that. I don't think you can ever be fully healed, or should you be fully healed?
That's a good question. We were discussing it with friends in our previous podcast, and I told them that's my personal opinion.
Yeah.
I don't think I would want to, because if I am fully healed, then I wouldn't feel such joy, excitement, happiness from happy moments, and at the same time, I know I wouldn't feel sorrow, sadness, anger, guilt, shame, but that's what makes me a human being.
Of course.
Imagine that someone right now, I don't know, would shot my loved one, and I would be like, that's life.
Yeah. I'm healed. That's the thing.
I accept it, what?
Yeah.
This way I accept it, like, oof, I wouldn't want to be there.
Yeah, of course. And of course, acceptance is how you move forward. But there's almost like switching off your emotions isn't healthy. And a part of healing is that.
I wouldn't say switching off emotion, it's having a full control over them.
Yeah,
Yeah, not letting them control you.
of course.
Especially like you said, avoidant attachment style, and then you became anxious attachment style. So, by the way, if you haven't, have you read the book Attached?
I have, yes, years ago though.
It's an amazing book, and I always recommend it to everyone who's struggling with their attachment style. So the moment when you realize when you're coming from, and you can pause and take over the control over your emotions, you won. That's it.
Yeah,
You won. The moment you can realize, oh, wait a second, this is what I'm feeling. I don't like it. Okay. Eliminate and shift. This is the best that you can do in any kind of situation. You don't react, right? You take the pause, and you're just taking it cautiously and reacting accordingly to what resonates with your current being.
of course. And it has to resonate back with yourself, And I was looking at your Instagram the other day. It's very good, by the way, your content.
Oh, thank you.
And one thing I did want to ask you is one of the famous quotes: once a cheater, always a cheater. What is your opinion on that?
I don't like to put I don't like to put labels. I believe people they can change, and I believe that if someone cheated with you, with if someone cheated in the past, doesn't have to cheat with you if you're a new partner, like if you're talking about different relationships, because there were reasons why they cheated with this person.
Yeah,
You don't have the same reasons of even being together, right? So that's a different scenario. So I believe that if it happened in the past, you shouldn't judge people according to their past. But if it happens with you and your partner in your relationship, it's a tough question. The question is only if you are willing to go through that pain, the time, and waiting if your partner will make up for it. Because they can be saying, yes, I made a mistake. Yes, I'm sorry. I will never ever do it again. They can say all of those things, but it's only here inside of you to make the decision, can I forgive and forget and move on, or I can't. So I think it's more easy to make the decision when you're just, dating in a relationship, not married, not kids. So I'm not married yet. So if that would happen to me right now, I wouldn't forgive. I would not, right? But if that happens when we're married and we have children, I can't tell how I would react because I'm not making decisions just on my behalf, but also on behalf of the whole family.
of course.
So it would need a very deep conversation because if a person decides to cheat, there's something you didn't give to your partner. Was it something that you were consciously doing? Was it something you were not aware of it? And all of these are coming just because you didn't have a clear, open communication, the two of you together. Everyone should have regular check-ins, right?
Yeah,
Even if you have children, you have to make time for your partner because at the end of the day, children are the ones that are going to leave the house and you're supposed to stay with your partner till death, right? So you have to nourish that relationship. And if you don't, and after time separate the ways or one of you cheats, well, you maybe sometimes could have seen it coming.
absolutely. And you're completely right. And it can come from either end, and especially if it's in a long-term relationship where you've been together for a long time and one person ends up cheating after being loyal for years, there was essentially something lacking there, and that can come from lack of communication or the love just essentially drifted apart naturally. But it's funny you said that because I had Ali on a few weeks ago on the podcast and she said the same thing about cheating. She said like at the minute she couldn't like being single or like if she started a relationship and somebody cheated on her, she couldn't get over it. But painted the same picture in terms of if I was married and had children, my opinion would probably be completely different because like you said, it's not just about you anymore. Whereas at the minute you would just be protecting yourself and taking a step back. Um, do you think it is something that you could genuinely forgive and forget?
Forgive, yes, depending on the circumstances, right? Like, for instance, why is the reason why I wouldn't be able to forgive it now? Because me and my partner, we do have our regular check ins, right?
Okay.
He works in Saudi, so he's home only like Friday, Saturday. So we need to make sure that Friday, Saturday we do have that deep conversations if everything is okay, how we're doing.
Yes.
So we do have those conversations. So if now one of us cheats, like where is that coming from? Honestly, we have the space, we have the time to discuss anything that is bothering us or that is making us happy, and yet one of us would cheat. That's not acceptable. That's really not. Therefore, I'm sorry, I forgot your initial question.
Oh, do you think you could genuinely forgive and forget?
So forgive, yes. I think in the future when there are kids, because I'm not married yet. I don't have kids yet. So I have no idea how challenging it is to handle relationship and children. How
Yes.
often you have time for each other. You're busy with work, with life, with kids, with family, with vacation, with friends. So I believe it's not as easy to find that intimate time to have those intimate conversations. So that's questionable. That's why, like, forget, I think these things, they can't really be forgotten.
Yeah, I completely agree. I know myself and how avoidant I am, especially. It's just not something I feel like I would be always bringing it up. Even if I'm like, yes, I forgive you, subconsciously, little things will trigger me in terms of that. So I know that I couldn't do it. But if you don't mind me asking about your current partner, so how did you meet, or like, what do you think aligned you? I feel like that's a very relevant question.
Yes. So we met through a friend. It
Okay.
was not a setup, it was very far from a setup. It was one of those nights where a friend of mine, so we had a friend in common that we both know for like 9 years, but we never met. So that night we met because it was an open invitation. Let's go out, let's have some fun, let's have some drinks. I was like, no, I'm not sure. I was like, okay, let's go. So that was the first time we met, but it took 5 months since then to end up in a relationship because in between I was in a toxic relationship and he was ending his toxic relationship.
Okay.
We met right at the same place where we both were. Like, we both were holding or carrying a little bit of baggage from previous
Of course.
relationship. But what I really, really appreciate why he made it so easy for me to trust him, because my style of toxic relationship back then was that I was dating a married guy and I didn't know.
Well, you didn't know, so it's okay.
Classic, right? Um, so I had trust issues.
Yeah.
He was excellent at hiding his family that is just like, uh, not too far. So I really developed trust issues. So my current fiance, he made it so easy. Like, he was very understanding until today's day. I really appreciate it because he was like, oh my God, now I have to tell you where I'm going. But he knew that if he wants to keep me, he has to help me to get over this. I was fighting it myself, but I knew that I can't really fight it fully myself, that I need a little bit of support. So at any given time, if anyone feels I'm struggling in a relationship, I'm fighting my battles inside of me, it's okay and it's necessary to ask for help and support of your partner, because you also then take away their right to be there for you,
Yeah.
to help you, especially when you really need them.
100%. And if we sort of revert back to the healing side of things, I think a lot of parts of us are actually healed going into a new relationship. Because, like, I know for myself, I have trust issues. I will probably not overcome that until I let somebody in again that teaches me.
That's your limiting belief.
Okay. That's true. I agree. I agree.
It's because if you say this out loud, that's what you really believe in and that's your reality. So you will unconsciously, consciously come into a relationship and you will be like, I'm having trust issues and I need him to prove me wrong, or like prove me that he can be faithful. You're already jeopardizing a potentially beautiful relationship rather than sit at home and do the work, like, why I might be feeling or thinking this way. Where is it coming from? It's just in my mind, it's just my belief, and I just decide, I know I'm just gonna say it now very easily, done. I don't believe it anymore. Yeah, and sometimes it's as easy as this, sometimes it needs a little bit more work.
Yeah. And yeah, you're actually right. I agree. I agree. So, reverting back on my point, but I do feel like you can heal through relationships,
Definitely.
you know?
So, this is what I believe in. When you're single, you can heal to a certain level. But when you're in a relationship, only then you can heal on a deeper level, because when you're single, who you deal with? Yourself.
Yeah.
You can't see what others see or what your partner would show you. And you also have the choice to hang out with people and say bye whenever you want, right? But when you're with a partner and if you live together, that's where the real reflection comes. And that's only So you can grow as much as you're with someone at a certain level. Like you feel, I used to be like that when I was single. Oh, I'm perfect. I'm healed. I know how to date, like I'm mastering the dating game. And then I came into a relationship, poof. Another
Yeah.
kind of work really came to the surface. Sometimes it was not nice. Yeah. It's beautiful what's going to wait for you when you get in a relationship. Are you ready for it?
I'm scared.
No, don't be.
No, you know what? If I sort of even compare myself to 6 months ago, I would have been so scared. Whereas now I'm content, and like I said, whatever happens, happens. I'm not at a stage, like I'm definitely not at a point where like I feel like I need to be in a relationship right now, or I'm desperate to find a partner or anything like that. I'm definitely not there, but I am becoming more open to the idea.
Do you believe you can choose the right partner?
Yeah, I do.
Was there a little hesitation?
Possibly. Um, I do. I think for me at the minute, it's definitely setting boundaries though, because that's one thing that I would have struggled with in the past. And if somebody's given me red flags, I would have been like, oh, it's not, it's pink. It's not fully red yet. And I have caught myself doing that. So I know that for me, it's like if there's a red flag, if there's something, not even a red flag, if they just don't align with my values, if they're not acting the way I would want my partner to essentially act, that's when I need to take a step back, not wait for the third, for the fourth, for the fifth one to finally be like, well, I'm going to run now,
Yeah,
you know?
you have to protect yourself. And I always say you set the pace of your potential relationship since the second number one. What's the second number one? If it's the second you match on a dating app, if it's the second you meet somewhere outside, if it's the second you bump into each other, or friends, they introduce you to each other, that's the second you have the moment, the right, the choice of showing your boundaries.
Yeah.
You can say some, I don't know, they maybe mean well, it's a joke, right? They want to flatter you, right? But at the end of the day, it comes out a little bit creepy. Don't be shy to tell them in a polite
Yeah.
way. Like so many girls, they're just like, oh, and then behind his back, what a jerk. Why don't you tell him? Like, why not? Oh, I can't because, I'm not, it feels what? He will keep doing this. Not just maybe he's not a jerk, but he doesn't know how to flirt with women, because some men, they really don't. Bless them. So, some of them try, they don't know, and they come up, like in a way they're not supposed to. So you maybe can just help them to become a better man,
Yeah.
to become better and approaching. And there is nothing wrong about it. We are here to support, uplift, motivate each other. So don't put others down, or don't talk behind their back, or if you don't like something, say it to them in a tasteful way, of course. But yeah, setting boundaries since the second number one is important, because if you don't, and then after, let's say, 2 months, you tell them, oh, but I don't like when you do this, or I don't like when you say this, you were okay with it for the whole 2 months?
Exactly. I completely agree with this.
I would be like, where is this all of a sudden coming from? Why you didn't tell me before? Maybe it's so important for you or for me that actually we just realize we can't be together.
And you essentially just went 2 months acting like yourself, and they weren't happy that whole time. I completely agree with that, because like you said, even down the line, if you don't like something about your partner and you never mention it, or if they do something, they go out and they never text you or whatever, if you let them off for 6 months, they're not going to start doing that after 6 months, because where did this come from?
Sudden,
Yeah, that's when you start acting crazy essentially.
right? Acting out.
Yeah.
And this also comes when you were saying you're avoidant. I know what it means, how it feels, because I am avoidant, working towards more secure. So eventually, at one point, I had to tell my partner, like, um, I want you to know I truly love you. I love being with you. But since this is my attachment style, I know that I need a little bit of space for myself. That doesn't mean I don't want to see you at all or something. It just means I need time for myself. And then when I recharge, I will be more happy to come back to you and see you. So when you communicate it in a way that they can understand it, they don't get hurt, they don't get offended. Um, that's the key to setting the boundaries in a healthy way, and also for you to make a way how to get used to it, to speak up. Because the more you do, the more it becomes natural.
Yeah, of course. And I would be very similar to you in that sense. Like, I even know when I'm in relationships, I need my own space. I love being with them, but I also need time on my own to recharge, or else I start getting moody, I start getting cranky, I start getting annoyed over small things. And it's nothing to do with them. I know it's just me that needs to pull back. And I think the mistake I have made in the past is I don't talk about it because I feel bad. I don't want them to feel like I don't want to, or that I don't want to spend time with them, because that's not the case at all.
So, in the beginning, you usually spend too much time with them, even though you're not really enjoying it, just because you don't want to hurt them.
Mm, I wouldn't, but I would feel the pressure of somebody trying to, like, if somebody's trying to see me 3, 4 times a week in the beginning, I panic. I'm like, I'm done. That's when I leave, which is, yeah.
Some women are dying that men want to
Honestly,
4 times a week, and she's like, "Oh, panic, panic, panic! Hold your horses."
why? Do you know do anything? Do you have a job? No, and it's funny you said that because my friends are like that. Like, my friends, if they're seeing somebody, they want to see them so much. Whereas to me, that's almost scary. But it's just because I enjoy my own company so much, and I'm used to being on my own. So I'm like, okay, seeing you once a week is more than enough from the get go, and then build it up from there, you know. But
And do you believe that if you see them, let's say 2, 3 times a week, wouldn't it also helpful? Wouldn't it be helpful in a way that you get to know that person a little faster?
yeah, I agree. I completely agree. And I do see it. I see when I'm doing it. And like, I notice myself taking a step back. Now, I have gotten better, definitely. Like, I was seeing a guy quite seriously after and around summertime anyway. And with him, I was able to sort of let my guard down and get close with him. And I was seeing him quite a lot throughout the week. And that was fine. But again, one red flag and I was away.
But that's good because you didn't give it too much time after seeing the red flag, you know?
Yeah.
You know that, okay, this is what I want, this is not it. Goodbye. Thank you very much for the lovely time we spent together, but it is not what we're aligned with. So that's beautiful, you know? You're very young, and I see so many people struggling that are in a much higher age. So I love to see people that are younger, that they have that kind of, that they have the ability to say, this is what I want, don't want, like, dislike. But I also want people to know that don't overdate, but date. Because if you don't date, how do you know what you like?
Yeah.
Because you're not the same person you were a year ago, right? You definitely developed, you're definitely different. So now if you go on a date with someone, it might be different expectations that you had a year ago. So it's like when you're employed for years and you should have sometimes once in a blue moon for an interview, just like to brush, you know,
Yeah.
your skills on the interview. So it's the same way for dating. Like, yeah, okay, I might go on this date. Let's see what it is about, and what I'm, the intention behind it is what I want to learn about myself. Not necessarily if you feel that I'm not so open to be in a relationship, at least you could see I wanna learn about myself. Let's see where this goes. If nowhere, perfect. If somewhere, perfect.
Yeah. And I agree. And a lot of people have said that because you do. I feel like you learn a part of yourself through dating other people. And like you said, at the minute, I don't know what I like or don't like because I haven't stepped into that in so long. You know, I know where my boundaries are. I know what I want essentially in a partner, or what I'm willing not to accept or to accept. But outside of that,
How long have you been single?
A year and a half now.
But you've been on dates here.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, good. So you're testing the water.
I'm testing the waters. I'm dipping my toe in there.
Trust me, there are good guys out there. I know that, like, so many clients, female clients, are coming to me. Where are the good guys? They are there, especially in my matchmaking database, right? Otherwise, those men wouldn't waste their time, energy on matchmaking if they're not serious. It's just that every single time when you catch yourself thinking, where are they? Pause and look inwards. Why am I thinking this way?
Yeah.
They are out there. The good guys, okay, lots of them are already married, as everyone says, are taken. But there are still men out there, they want to settle down, they have clear intentions, they want to have a beautiful relationship. You just need to, it's like, open your radar to them. And sooner or later, you will attract them, right?
And I do believe in that. I definitely do believe in that. I think for myself, I'm just not ready to find them yet.
That's good. If you're not, take your time. There is no rush. Again, you're young, you still want to focus on your business. That's like your baby.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
For sure. But if somebody is struggling out there at the minute to maybe find a partner, or they keep finding themselves in the same cycle of attracting people that are never going to be their life partner, essentially, is there any advice that you would give them to help overcome that?
There is many advices. To choose one, it's challenging, but I would say, can I say two?
Of course, of course.
First one is start looking inside. Like, that's no other way. Stop blaming dating culture, stop blaming the girls, stop blaming the guys, stop blaming anyone, but look inside, because as you said, if there are any kind of patterns, those patterns are because you keep attracting them. If I kept attracting married guys, it was because I really didn't believe I'm worthy of love. I realized that after time. I was like, why am I always attracting just married guys? Duh, Mia, because you didn't believe that you deserve the lovey-dovey love. That's why it wasn't coming. So that's one thing. You have to look inside. Even if you find ugly things, you're supposed to find them and, just work on them. And then second thing, authenticity. You're not gonna attract the right partner if you're gonna pretend. Never ever. Don't and that in that category, what everything falls is being assertive. Be able to say no. When you don't understand, ask deeper questions. Don't assume. Uh, Speak up about your boundaries. Hold on to your important values that you have in life. Be the person that you're supposed to be when you are with the partner that you want to spend the rest of your life with. Because if you're going to be reflecting something fake you're not, then that's what you're going to attract. If you're going to reflect what you are, you're going to attract what you deserve. And if you deserve true love, you're going to attract it because you are being authentic and yourself. And people, anyway, in average, they can fake their personality or character. They say in average 3 months. So 3 months is usually the time where
true colors start to come out.
But it's always possible to avoid it, to be heartbroken or disappointed or not seeing the red flags or not seeing the true colors, by listening to your gut, your intuition. Your gut is filled with neurons that are connected with your brain, and they're always trying to send you a message. And if you're not listening to your gut and you're ignoring it, if you're not listening to that feeling inside that is happening, that's a recipe for a disaster, because that also happened to me. I'm speaking from my own experience. I felt it here, but I was mistaking it for excitement.
Butterflies.
Butterflies, it's amazing. No, it was so destructive. And it was just my mistake that I was not listening at all. And then I got burned. But yeah, I learned it the hard way. Now, never ever, of course.
But this, you had to go through that. You had to learn the hard way because it'll never happen again. Not to the same extent because you will be in control of it. And that, I feel like that's the whole point of going through painful situations or situationships or people hurting you, is for you to be able to find that within yourself and what you have to work on as a person in general.
Are you good in listening to your gut feeling?
No, I am better. I'm better, definitely better. If something doesn't feel right, I can just step back from it. Now, I said 2-3 years ago, my gut was on fire and I was like, what is this?
Oh, this is beautiful.
Yeah.
I enjoyed.
Is this excitement? Am I in love? Yeah, I'm definitely better now. But me a few years ago, my gut, yeah, I did not trust it. I didn't trust myself. I didn't trust my own intuition that I knew what's best for me. I would have been influenced by what I'm being told. But we've worked on that a lot.
Good, good, very good. Yeah. Gut is your very important. It's like a direction.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you don't listen to it, you miss the exit. Wow.
And then you're going around again until you come back to it.
Right.
Yeah, literally. But thank you so, so much for coming on today. Honestly, this has been a very, very interesting conversation. Very pleased to have you. And
Thank you for having me. I really enjoy our conversation. You're a very lovely woman, very lovely person, and I'm very happy I could have this insightful conversation with you.
I love this. And I definitely think it will be so helpful for so many women as well as men, actually. I know this podcast is more directed to women, but you made it very clear that even like men will be reaching out to you. Like you said, they're looking with clear intentions, they want to settle down. So yeah, no more blaming men for our problems.
No, please.
But thank you, and thank you everybody for listening, and I will catch you next Wednesday.